The crystalline spires of Valeros Prime stretched toward the violet sky, their surfaces shimmering with the bioluminescent patterns that marked the ancient Valerian civilization. Anna stood at the observation deck of the Interspecies Cultural Exchange Center, her reflection ghostly against the transparent aluminum viewport. She had been on this world for 3 standard years now, and despite her contributions to xenobiology and her position as the lead human researcher, she remained an outsider in ways that cut deeper than professional boundaries. Dr. Anna Reeves was a brilliant scientist. Her work on cross-species genetic compatibility had earned her accolades across a dozen star systems. But here on Valeros Prime, where marriage alliances determined social standing and political power, her brilliance meant little. The Valerians were a proud species, humanoid in form but with skin that shifted through subtle chromatic patterns based on emotion and social hierarchy. Their culture revolved around intricate bonding ceremonies that elevated families and created networks of influence spanning generations. Anna had tried. She had learned their customs, mastered their complex language with its harmonic undertones, and even developed genuine friendships among the Valerian scientific community. But when it came to marriage proposals, she had faced nothing but polite refusals. 7 times she had been approached by Valerian males seeking human connections for political or scientific alliances, and 7 times those same males had withdrawn their offers after their families intervened. The pattern was always the same: initial interest, followed by elaborate courtship rituals, then hushed family councils, and finally awkward withdrawals accompanied by carefully worded excuses about cultural incompatibilities and unforeseen complications. The truth, which Anna had pieced together through overheard conversations and sympathetic whispers from Valerian colleagues, was simpler and more painful. Human females were considered too emotionally volatile, too short-lived, and too alien for proper Valerian bonding. The social cost of bringing a human into a prominent family was deemed too high, regardless of the individual's accomplishments. Anna had stopped trying 6 months ago. She focused on her work, buried herself in research, and told herself that she didn't need their acceptance. But in quiet moments like this, watching Valerian couples walk hand in hand through the plaza below, their skin patterns synchronized in the intimate dance of bonded pairs, she felt the weight of her isolation. "Beautiful view, isn't it?" The voice startled her. Anna turned to find a human male standing a respectful distance away, hands clasped behind his back. He was tall, with dark hair touched with gray at the temples and eyes that held the particular weariness of someone who had seen too much of the galaxy's darker corners. "It is," Anna replied cautiously. "Humans were rare on Valeros Prime. I don't think we've met." Anna Reeves' Xenobiology Department. David Marchetti, he extended his hand in the old Earth custom. "I just arrived yesterday. Diplomatic Corps, Cultural Integration Specialist." Anna shook his hand, nodding the calluses and the strength in his grip. This was not a man who spent all his time behind a desk. "Welcome to Valeros Prime. I hope your assignment here is more successful than most diplomatic postings to this world." David smiled, a genuine expression that reached his eyes. "I've read the reports. The Valerians aren't particularly interested in deep cultural exchange with humanity. We're too different, too unpredictable for their carefully ordered society." "You've done your homework." "It's my job." He moved to stand beside her at the viewport. "I also read about you, Dr. Reeves. Your work on genetic markers for cross-species compatibility is groundbreaking. The Valerians should be honored to have you here." Anna felt a flush of pleasure at the recognition, followed immediately by embarrassment. "They tolerate me. There's a difference." For a moment they stood in comfortable silence, watching the city below as the violet sun began its descent toward the horizon. The spires caught the light, transforming into pillars of fire. "I also read," David said carefully. About your attempts to integrate into Valerian society through traditional bonding ceremonies. That took courage. Anna's jaw tightened. It took stupidity. I should have known better. Why? Because you dared to hope that merit and character might outweigh prejudice. The directness of the question caught Anna off guard. She studied David's profile, trying to read his intentions. You're blunt for a diplomat. I'm effective because I'm blunt, not despite it. He turned to face her fully. Dr. Reeves, I have a proposal for you, a real one. Anna's heart skipped. I don't understand. Marry me. The words hung in the air between them, absurd and impossible. Anna laughed, a short, sharp sound. We just met 5 minutes ago. True, but hear me out. David's expression remained serious. I've been sent here to establish stronger human-Valerian relations. The diplomatic approaches have failed. Trade agreements are stagnant. Cultural exchanges are superficial. But there's one thing the Valerians respect above all else: proper adherence to their bonding traditions. You want a political marriage. I want to show them that humans can honor their customs, that we're not the chaotic primitives they believe us to be, and I want to give you the social standing you've earned through your work. He paused. I won't pretend this would be a love match, at least not initially, but it would be a partnership between equals, built on mutual respect and common goals. Anna's mind raced. The proposal was insane, calculating, and yet there was a strange logic to it. The Valerian families rejected me 7 times. What makes you think they'd accept this? Because I'm not asking them. I'm going directly to the High Council with a formal petition under the ancient rites of Velthera, the bonding of allies. It's a rarely used provision, but it's unassailable under Valerian law. The council can't refuse without causing a diplomatic incident, and the families can't object without challenging the council's authority. You've really thought this through. It's what I do. David's voice softened. Look, I know this sounds calculated and cold, but I've read your research papers, Dr. Reeves. I've seen the passion in your work, the way you fight for understanding between species. We're alike in that way. We both believe that the barriers between our peoples can be bridged. This would be a statement, a living symbol of that possibility. Anna walked to the edge of the observation deck, her fingers trailing along the cool metal railing. Below, Valerian families gathered in the plaza for the evening social hour, their skin patterns creating a mesmerizing display of coordinated light. She had wanted so desperately to be part of that world. What would you expect from this marriage? She asked finally. Honesty, loyalty, a genuine partnership in both our professional and personal lives. I won't demand love, but I'd hope for friendship and mutual support. Beyond that, we'd figure it out as we go. And if it doesn't work, then we dissolve the bond according to Valerian custom after the minimum required period of 5 standard years. But I think it will work, Dr. Reeves. I think we could accomplish remarkable things together. Anna turned back to face him. David stood patient and calm, waiting for her decision without pressure. There was something solid about him, something trustworthy beneath the diplomatic calculations. Why me? She asked. You could have proposed this arrangement to any human on Valeros Prime. Because you're the one who deserves it. You've earned your place here through dedication and brilliance. Because I admire what you've tried to do, even if it didn't work out the first 7 times. And honestly, because I think you're the only human here who would understand what I'm trying to accomplish and have the courage to see it through. The violet sun touched the horizon, and the city's bioluminescent patterns began to glow brighter in response. Anna made her decision. I'll do it, but I have conditions. David smiled. I'd expect nothing less from a scientist. This is a real partnership. Equal voices in all decisions. My research continues without interference, and despite the political nature of this arrangement, we commit to treating each other with genuine respect and care. Agreed. David extended his hand again. Partners. Anna took it, feeling the firmness of his grip and the warmth of human contact she hadn't realized she'd been missing. Partners. 3 weeks later, Anna stood in the Hall of Eternal Bonds before the Valerian High Council. She wore the traditional bonding robes, cream-colored silk embroidered with patterns that represented her achievements and lineage. Beside her, David wore the male equivalent, his robes bearing the symbols of his diplomatic service and family heritage. The ceremony was attended by hundreds of Valerians, many drawn by curiosity about the unprecedented event. The High Council, bound by their own laws and unable to refuse David's properly filed petition, presided with stoic dignity. As the high priest intoned the ancient words of bonding, Anna felt David's hand find hers. His skin patterns, generated by the temporary chromatic tattoos he had carefully applied according to tradition, pulsed in a rhythm that matched the ceremonial music. When the moment came for them to speak their vows, David turned to her. His voice carried through the hall, clear and unwavering. "I bind myself to Anna Reeves, whose brilliance illuminates the darkness of ignorance, whose courage challenges the barriers between worlds. I offer partnership, loyalty, and the promise that she will never stand alone among strangers again." Anna's throat tightened with unexpected emotion. This was supposed to be a political arrangement, a calculated move in a diplomatic game. But in David's eyes, she saw something genuine: recognition, respect, and the beginning of real connection. She spoke her own vows, words about partnership and shared purpose, about building bridges between civilizations. As she spoke, she realized she meant every word. The ceremony concluded with the traditional joining of hands and the blessing of the High Council. As Anna and David turned to face the assembled crowd, she saw something remarkable. The Valerian families who had rejected her proposals now bowed their heads in acknowledgement. The social standing of a proper bonding ceremony, conducted according to ancient law, had granted her what individual merit could not. But more than that, she had found something she hadn't expected. In David's steady presence and his unwavering commitment to their partnership, she had found not just political alliance but the foundation of something real. As they walked together from the Hall of Eternal Bonds, their hands still joined, Anna felt the weight of isolation lift. The alien males had refused her, yes, but a human had made the proposal that mattered, not just a marriage of convenience but an offer of true partnership, respect, and the courage to challenge a society's prejudices together. The spires of Valeros Prime caught the evening light, and for the first time, Anna felt she truly belonged among them. Not because she had been accepted on their terms alone, but because she and David had rewritten those terms together, creating something new and unprecedented. A bond between equals that bridged not just two individuals, but two civilizations. And as she glanced at her new husband, seeing the small smile that played at the corners of his mouth and the determination in his eyes, Anna knew that this calculated political marriage had the potential to become something far more profound. They had started as strangers with a common goal. Where they would go from here was a story yet to be written. But they would write it together.